Welcome back, students. Today we are going to discuss organism and population part 1. This particular chapter belongs to Unit 4, Organism and Environment. So, before I start the main content, I would like to inform that the images used in our slides are for education purpose only. We respect intellectual property right of the original creator and owner of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in this PPT, have any concern, any issue, please contact us at sathee@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the image. In this particular video lecture, we are mainly focusing on these 3 points. What is ecology? Biotic, abiotic factors, interaction between environment and population, and major abiotic factors. Okay. So first of all, we have to understand the term ecology. Ecology. I have already highlighted all those points which I am going to discuss and which are important. Okay. So first of all, the definition of ecology. Ecology is a subject of biology which study the interaction among organisms or between different organisms. Okay, with its abiotic factor or abiotic environment. Means we can say interaction between biotic, which contains all living forms, living things, and abiotic. Interaction between biotic factor and with its abiotic factor. Collectively, interaction of both biotic and abiotic factor comes under this ecology part. Okay. So ecology is a subject which study the interaction among organisms and between organisms and its physical environment and obviously physical environment means all the abiotic factors. Okay. So basically this ecology concerned with the 4 level of biological organization. First level, at the organism level, within a single organism, what are the things present in an organism? If an individual, if you want to study a single plant or single bacteria, that in single plant, what type of mechanism, what are the parts, what are the cell type. Okay, these are the things which we are going to study, right? So first level is organism level. If more than one individuals are there, then they collectively we can use the term population. So population level of organization occur. And more than interaction between more than one population, then we can use the term community. Okay, and biome. So 4 level of organization: organism level, population level, community level, and at biome level. So with this chart, you can very easily recognize the things. What is the smallest unit? Smallest unit, atom. More than 2 atoms comes together, then they can form molecules. And if these molecules are having biological activity, they are involved in certain kind of biological activity or metabolism thing, then we can use the term biomolecule for the same. Okay, biomolecules like amino acids, monosaccharides, okay, fatty acids, they all comes under biomolecules category. And interaction of more than one amino acids, they can form protein. So macromolecules, or more than one monosaccharide, they can collectively form initially oligosaccharide, then polysaccharide. So from biomolecule to macromolecule, and then macromolecule to cell to tissue to organ, and organ to individual. This is at this point of time we can use the term term organism level of study. Okay, biological organization. And more than one individuals, so many individuals, then we can use the term more than one individual or a group of individual of the same species, we can use the term population for the same. And more than one population, It may contain plants, animals, fungi, bacteria, and so on. Then we can use the term community for the same. And more than one community, they all comes under ecosystem, and so many ecosystem comes under biome. So this is the largest form, biome. Okay. So now ecology at organism level. Organism level is essentially physiological ecology. At that time, if we want to understand the organism level ecology, then at that time we must understand the physiology of that individual. Okay, which try to understand how different organisms are adapted to their environment. Different organisms in terms of not only survival but also the reproduction. As you know, the environmental condition can change, and these are continuously, slowly change, right? And all those individuals who are able to adapt themselves according to the environment, they are only able to reproduce well. If some kind of organism are not showing that kind of adaptation that they can reproduce more progeny, nature automatically uh, disappeared them with the passage of time. Okay, so this is very important for the organism to adapt with the environment, with the changed condition, not only for their own survival but also for their own reproduction. Okay, so you may have learned in earlier class also how our planet rotate around the sun and tilt its axis, and this tilted rotation along its axis and around the sun, this cause annual variation with the intensity and duration of temperature, right? And this continuous variation because of the earth movement cause gives us different kind of seasons, distinct seasons. In some season there are so many rainfall, sometime it's too much, winter season, summer season, and so on. So because of this earth rotation around the sun and its tilted position, gives us distinct season, and these variation together with annual variation in precipitation. And what is the meaning of this precipitation? Precipitation means rainfall and snowfall too. Both the things, rainfall and snowfall. Okay, it include both. So variation in precipitation accounts for the formation of major biome which are present on our earth. So many biomes are present on our earth. As you can see in this particular graph, I have taken this graph from your NCERT book. And the maximum rainfall, if we in x-axis mean annual precipitation they have given in centimeter, and here on y-axis they have given temperature. So here temperature, okay, here rainfall. Okay, so maximum rainfall occur in if we move from this 0 to towards high point 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300 here. So you can see maximum rainfall occur in the tropical rainforest. That's why it's we can use the term tropical rainforest. Forest means highest rainfall occur in this particular region. Okay, and minimum rainfall occur at, this is the minimum rainfall, this point, at this point of time. So minimum rainfall occur in that region which is known as desert. Minimum rainfall. So maximum rainfall area, what kind of biome is this? Tropical rainforest. And minimum rainfall means desert. And if minimum rainfall or snowfall occur, why I am using the term snowfall? Because the temperature is -10 over here. Okay, if the area that is situated or adapt for -degree temperature and minimum rainfall, or maximum temperature over here is only 0 or near 0. Okay, so minimum rainfall or minimum snowfall, and temperature also very low. That time, that area is known as Arctic and Alpine tundra. Arctic and Alpine tundra. These 3 points. I hope these 3 points are clear right now. Okay, so maximum rainfall, tropical rainforest, minimum rainfall, desert, right? Minimum rainfall with minimum temperature, Alpine and Arctic tundra. Okay, now there is a shape of cone. You can see a cone shaped structure are also present in this graph, and this cone shaped structure is known as coniferous forest. If cone shaped structure, then we can use the term coniferous forest. In coniferous forest also, medium type of precipitation occur. Medium type of precipitation, and shape is cone shape, medium to low. Okay, now, so according to shape, if graph is there, if they are giving you graph and ask to analyze or tell the name of that particular type of area, then with the help of the shape you can very quickly analyze the coniferous forest. And after that, 2 more regions are there. One is known as just after the desert, grassland, and then temperate region. Okay, so grassland, this one is the grassland. After the rainforest, the range of precipitation is low in grassland, while this one is high in temperate region. Okay, so this is how you can recognize temperate region. Okay, temperature is optimum temperature is 20 for grassland also. This is 25. Okay, but in temperate region, rainforest comparatively more if we compare this with the grassland. Okay, so this is how you can very quickly analyze all the type of graph. This is very easy. Maximum rainfall, tropical, minimum rainfall, desert. Minimum rainfall with negative temperature or low temperature, tundra. And after that, 3 are left, but in out of 3, 1 is having cone shaped structure. So very quickly you can analyze this one as coniferous forest. Okay, and then grassland and temperate is comparatively showing comparatively more rainfall if we compare this with the grassland. Okay, now next slide. So on the planet Earth, life exists not just in very few favorable habits, but extremely harsh conditions are also there, and certain kind of organisms, animals, plants are able to survive in that particular conditions. Like in Rajasthan, where scorching heat is the quality of Rajasthan summer, right? Similarly, Meghalaya region, this one is known as, why Meghalaya? We use the term Meghalaya for the same. This state is known as Meghalaya, Meghon ka alay, Meghon ka ghar, means so many rain. It is almost maximum rain is the quality. So it is known as rain-soaked Meghalaya forest, tropical rainforest area of our country. Similarly, deep ocean trenches, torrential streams, permafrost polar region, high mountain tops, boiling thermal springs, string composed pits, and even our intestine also. This is also a unique habitat for so many type of microbes. Okay, they give a different type of environment in which different type of micro are able to grow in our gut also. So these are comes under different type of habitat for different type of organisms. Now let's discuss some abiotic factors. What is ecology? Interaction between biotic and abiotic factor, right? So first of all, we have to understand different type of abiotic factor. 4 different type of abiotic factor are there. One, the important ones first, which is the most important, that is temperature, followed by water, light, and soil. Okay, so we must remember the physiochemical component or abiotic component alone do not characterize the habitat of an organism completely, but abiotic component are also there. And a biotic component, what are the examples of biotic component? Any type of living thing. It may be pathogen, it may be parasites, it may be predator or competitor. They all are comes under biotic components. And all type of abiotic factors, which is very, very important for the survival of any type of organism, comes under abiotic factors like temperature, water, light, and soil. Okay, both the factors interact with each other for their growth. So first abiotic factor, temperature. This temperature is the most ecologically relevant environmental factor. Average temperature on land varies seasonally, decrease progressively from equator to poles. If we move, if this is Earth, and if we move from equator to pole, okay, then temperature will get decrease. Okay, so if we move from equator to pole or from plain to mountain area, from plain to mountain area, obviously temperature get decrease. Okay, and it also range from sub-zero level. It range from sub-zero level in the polar area and high altitude to more than 50 degree in tropical desert in summer. More than 50 degree in tropical desert in summer. Okay, so there are, however, unique habitats such as thermal springs, in which hot water springs. What is the characteristic of thermal spring? High temperature. And deep sea hydro vents, which is the main source of temperature for the all the animals which are survive there. Okay, so unique habitats such as thermal spring, deep sea hydrothermal vent, where average temperature exceed 100 degrees centigrade. Okay, so it is generally known that mango tree, it's a very good example. Mango tree are only able to grow in tropical area like in India, because for their flowering and fruiting purpose, that particular plant require a specific temperature. Okay, we cannot see mango growing mango to grow in certain countries, certain cold countries like Canada or Germany. Okay, they are in Canada and Germany, you can easily find out apples, orange, pomegranate, these type of fruits, but not mango, because this mango require certain type of fixed temperature for their as I told you, flowering and fruiting purpose, right? Similarly, in Kerala, we cannot found snow leopard. Snow leopard are only able to survive in cold regions. They require low temperature for their survival. Okay, so that's how. And another example here I have quoted for you is tuna fish. These tuna fish are rarely caught beyond tropical latitude in the sea, because this require comparatively higher temperature of water. Okay, so they are only, we can just find out this particular fish only in the tropical sea or ocean area near the tropical altitude. So with these three examples, we can now understand that for the growth of some kind of organism, they require specific temperature for their survival, for their reproduction, and for their growth purpose. Clear? So temperature, we all understand that temperature affect the kinetics of enzyme through it is the basal metabolism activity and other physiological function of the organism. Enzyme is required for all kind of physiological function of an organism, and that temperature affect the enzyme kinetics, and because enzyme works on a specific temperature. Okay, if temperature is high, enzyme get denatured. If temperature is low, enzyme get deactivated. Okay, so temperature affect the kinetics of enzyme. Okay, so on the basis of this, we can divide organism into two different categories. One is urothermal. All the organisms which are able to tolerate a wide range of temperature comes under urothermal category. Wide range of temperature, and in this type of category, mainly birds and mammals come. Okay, another type is stenothermal. In most of the organisms comes under this category, stenothermal, which are restricted to a narrow range of temperature. A slight variation occur very quickly. That type of organism comes under hibernation condition or estivation condition. Okay, because for their survival, they require a very narrow range of temperature for their survival, for their reproduction and other things. Okay, so all the organisms which are able to tolerate a wide range of temperature comes under urothermal category. Birds and mammals comes under this particular urothermal category. Remaining all comes under stenothermal category, although there are certain exceptions. Okay, a level of thermal tolerance of different species determined to a large extent of their geographical distribution as well. Now the next factor is next abiotic factor is water. As you know that water is most important factor that influence the life of organism. In fact, the life on earth originated in water, and we cannot imagine life without water. But its availability is so limited in some area, like in deserts. So only those animal or those type of plants are able to survive in that particular area, which have special adaptation. So animals and plants have special adaptation to make it possible to live there, like cactus plants, like camel, whose foot are like a very flat, cozy type of foot. Okay, so the productivity and distribution of the plant is heavily dependent on water. You might think that organisms living in the ocean, lake, and river should not face any water related problem, but it is not true. All the organisms which are known as aquatic animal or aquatic plants, aquatic animals, fishes and all, they are mainly not the quantity of water, but they are highly dependent upon the quality of water. Means the chemical composition of water, pH of the water. They are highly if water is polluted, they very quickly move to the other area. Okay, or very quickly get die. Okay, so for aquatic animal or aquatic organisms, the quality of water become important. Similarly, the salt concentration are also very important. Salt concentration is less than 5 in inland water, and the salt concentration measured as salinity in parts per thousand. Okay, 5 in inland water, 30 to 35 in sea, and more than 100 in some hypersaline lagoons. Okay, so 5 in inland water, 30 to 35 sea, and more than 100 in some hypersaline area or hypersaline lagoon. Some organisms are able to tolerate a wide variety of salinity, and those organisms, we can use the term for the eurohaline for the same. All those organisms which are able to tolerate high salinity. But those are not able to tolerate high salinity, we can use the term stenohaline for the same. Okay, similarly, urothermal or stenothermal, similarly urohaline and stenohaline. Many freshwater animals cannot live for long in seawater and vice versa. Freshwater animal. Why? Because of the high salinity, cannot live for long in seawater because in sea salinity is more 30 to 35. Okay, and vice versa. All those animal, all those type of fishes which are adapted in the seawater, they cannot, live in fresh water. Okay, why? Because of the osmotic problem they have to face, because they have adapted themselves, their body, according to the salt concentration of water. Next factor is light. Since plant produce food through photosynthesis. What is photosynthesis? It is a process which is possible when sunlight is available as a source of energy. Okay, we can quickly understand the importance of light for living organisms, particularly for autotrophs. Because autotrophs are able to synthesize their own food in the presence of light and chlorophyll by utilizing carbon dioxide and water, right? So many species of small plants, small plants means herbs and shrubs growing in forest, are adapted to photosynthesis optimally in a very low light condition. How? Because they constantly overshaded by tall plants, means canopied plant. In jungle, there are so many type of plants. This one is there are certain kind of big tree, certain kind of herbs, okay, medium size of plant, and some small plants are there. So because of the tall plant, they form a type of canopy. So only shaded light is available for these herbs and shrubs. So they adapted themselves for that shaded light. Okay. So many plants are also dependent on sunlight to meet their photoperiodic requirement for flowering. Many plants are dependent upon the photoperiodic, like some plants, some plants are able to bloom their flower only if they are able to if they are they are put it in a situation in a area where more than 8 sunlight is there. Okay, some plants are not able to produce their flower or bloom if sunlight is less than 8 hours, like rose. Okay, some are that's this is one of the example. So we can say many plants are dependent on sunlight to meet their photosynthetic requirement for flowering. Okay. Similarly, for many animals too, light is important as they use the diurnal and seasonal variation in light intensity and duration, photoperiod, as clue for the timing their forage, reproductive and migratory activities. Photodiurnal or their reproductive cycle are also, they follow the photoperiod, like in dogs. Okay, and for their migratory activities also. So they require this sunlight and duration of sunlight, which is known as photoperiod. Okay, so availability of light on the land is closely linked with the temperature. Yes, availability of light on land is closely linked with the temperature, since sun is the source of both light and temperature. But in deep ocean, the environment is particularly dark and its inhabitants are not aware the existence of celestial source of energy called sun. So what is the source of energy for them? Source of energy is intraventricular vents. Some vents are there which provide energy and hotness. Okay, so they are not dependent on sunlight. Okay, and the UV component of the spectrum is harmful for many organisms, while not all the color component of visible spectrum are available for marine plants living at different depth of ocean. Okay, now the last factor is soil, last abiotic factor, which we are going to discuss in this particular video lecture. Okay, so the nature and property of soil, this is different place to place. It depends upon the climate and weathering process. Weathering means weathering of rock occur. How soil will produce because of the weathering of uh, rocks. Okay, so whether soil is transported or sedimentary and how soil developmental occur. Various characteristics of soil such as soil composition, grain size, or we can say particle size, aggregation. Okay, this all factor determine the percolation and water holding capacity of soil. And these characteristics along with the parameters such as pH, mineral composition and topography actually determine the large extent of the vegetation in any area. Okay, so as you can see the area plateau region of India, which is situated MP region and Maharashtra region. The soil type is black soil that contain more iron. Iron is more. Okay, so the vegetation and type of diversity, biodiversity is more in that particular area. Different type of organisms, plants, animals are mainly you can find out there. Okay, so that's why soil composition, the type mineral composition, which I said just now, iron and topography actually determine the large extent of vegetation and animal type in that particular area, because animals herbivore are dependent on the autotrophs, different kind of plants. Okay, and so on, herbivore, then primary carnivore and secondary carnivore. So this in turn dictates the type of animal that can be supported. Similarly, in the aquatic environment also, the sediment characteristic often determine all the type of beneath animal that can thrive. So this is all about the abiotic factor which we are discussed just now. I hope most of the things has been cleared now. Still you have any problem, any doubt, please let me know. We will discuss it later on. Till then, take care, bye bye, and keep learning.